Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to our 14th episode of Aging Well in Wadsworth. This is your life, and today we have two very special guests, Tom Stugmyer, and for the first time ever, we have a furry guest. We have Augie, the famous dog from the Wadsworth radio window.
You want a treat? Okay, sit. Okay, there you go. Have a treat.
Yes, he's kind of like Wadsworth's mascot dog. So we've got Tom and Augie. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. This is awesome. We were looking forward to it. It was funny. We were home, and a lot of times in the afternoon when I go to leave, it's an appointment that I have, and he doesn't get to go with me. And I said, do you want to go see Lori? Oh, he got all excited. He's jumping around, and and it's funny. As soon as we pulled in here, he knew where he was from being here a couple times before. So he was excited to be here.
That's awesome, and it's usually me visiting him
it's usually
and
the other
you
way around.
At the radio station.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to have you. Yeah. It's also the first time we've taped this episode, an episode of the show outside.
Yeah. It was a gorgeous day
here. It's a gorgeous day, so we're right here sitting in front of the Suprema Senior Center, right under the beautiful awning.
Yeah.
And so instead of a fireside chat, we're having just a little nice outdoor afternoon chat. So let's start with the question we start with everybody. Where were you born, Tom, and where did you grow up?
Okay, well, I was born in Middletown, Ohio, down by Cincinnati. It's between Cincinnati and Dayton. Steel Mill Town, Armco Steel was there, and went to a Middletown Fenwick High School, small high school, Catholic high school. We had 77 kids in my graduating class.
Wow.
There were just under 400 in the entire high school, so a very small educational atmosphere where I grew up. And again, a steel mill town. My dad, after he came back from, he was in World War II and then in the Korean War. When he got out of the service, he was a machinist. And when he came back out, he worked in a machine shop for a short period of time. And then he and my uncle had an opportunity to start a restaurant. So in my formative years I was born in 1956, I'll be 69 this year. So from 1958 all the way through 1970, they had a restaurant. So my dad and his brother, my uncle, married my mom and her sister. So it was kind of a small knit family, and everybody ran the restaurant. And so I grew up working sort of in the family business. Of course, as a kid, I couldn't go out in the bar area or whatever when I was underage, but I did everything else, around there. So it was, all those years, worked there in the restaurant with my mom, dad, and my aunt and uncle.
That is a cool family business, you know what, it kind of gives us a glimpse into your life because you have such a strong work ethic, which we're going to get to hear about your career and all the things you do now, but you were probably working before most kids just because it was a family business.
Yeah, it was, and again, a lot of those things because Sundays, of course, everything back then was closed on Sundays, and so Sunday was the day when you went in and you cleaned and you worked and you polished and did the floors, all that kind of the weekly maintenance, and so that was all done on Sunday. And then during the summertime, it was my job to take care of the yard around, so all the outside landscaping and, yard work and that kind of stuff. So I did that starting probably when I was about 7 or 8 years old and worked all the way up to when I went into high school when they ended up selling the business. But yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating. Very fascinating. So your childhood, you evolved, you ended up finishing high school. Where did your career take you?
Well, I had, went to the small high school, and so I had looked at, I was interested in astronomy, wanted a degree in astronomy, and physics and math and those things where if the astronomy didn't work out, taking a lot of electives, because I liked engineering as well. And so it was one of those careers where if I took all the electives in astronomy, I could go that direction, but if those jobs or whatever didn't work out, I could still do the engineering part. So anyway, I looked at the University of Dayton and University of Cincinnati and some of the large schools, and of course you go in there, and I mean, a little kid from Middletown, I was overwhelmed. you go in there, and I mean, some of the classes in there had more kids than my high school did.
Wow.
And so it's like, well, if that's what I have to do for astronomy programs, that's what I'll do. But I had 2 teachers at Fenwick that went to Mount Union, and they go, oh, Mount Union has a very strong astronomy program. So they brought me up to Alliance one weekend, and I visited once, and I said, okay, that's it.
Wow.
So that's how I ended up here because of that connection with the teachers. And I went to Mount Union and graduated from Mount Union in 1979 with a degree in physics and astronomy and mathematics. But that's just because you took all the electives, so you have to pick one to do or whatever. And I did the physics, and so then after that, again, a lot of in the late 70s, early 80s, a lot of the widespread space jobs were kind of dwindling. The space program was being cut a little bit, and a lot of the jobs were in teaching. And I did not want to teach. You would have to go to university or whatever.
Sure.
That wasn't me. And so I went the engineering route and took some additional engineering courses at Akron U, and I was a manufacturing engineer then until 2013. And worked in a machine shop and in all aspects of whether it was CNC programming. At one point, I even did hiring for the shop, that type of a thing. So a little bit of all aspects in the manufacturing world too. We made. I worked over in Akron. We made bearings for large compressors. Worked in the railroad industry and in the mining industry. So those are the products that we made there. So that turned into that career. But my passion for astronomy and space never left.
Sure. And I know we'll get into that in a little bit too. So when did your life end up intersecting with Wadsworth?
Well, after I left Mount, got married and moved to Wadsworth. Just found a house over on North Lyman Street, a little fixer-upper, and just started there. And have been here ever since. A couple different locations where I lived and moved. I'm back on Highland Avenue now. And actually, technically, never really left the neighborhood. It's funny because I was on Lyman, and then we were on Allen, just 5 streets over. And then I was in the apartments behind Lowe's for a while, and now I'm back on Highland. So it was like I know the neighborhood.
Yes, you do. So, are you on the brick section?
1 block off.
One block off.
I'm 1 block
okay.
off the brick, just 1 block north of the brick area there. Yeah. So.
But close enough you can walk downtown.
Right? We walk downtown
all the time.
Downtown
sure.
all the time. Yeah, I mean it's about a 10-minute walk with him visiting every light pole, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so we walk downtown all the time. So it's a very short walk, and it's very convenient running home for lunch or those kind of things by working downtown. So,
sure.
Yeah.
So tell us, you say working downtown. Where do you work downtown?
Well, at Wadsworth Community Radio, and so that's been there. Well, we had our 10-year anniversary here on June the 30th.
Congratulations.
10 years of broadcasting on you. Hey, you want a little treat, buddy? You do. You want a little treat?
He's being so good.
Okay, here, sit down. Here, sit.
I told Tom he was going to be the star of the show.
whether anybody wants him to or not, right? But so yeah, worked at the radio station, and again, we're celebrating our 10th year now on air. So we do that, and again, it's fun. It's really neat. It's kind of like a lot of people say, "Well, are you going on vacation this year?" Sounds corny, but I'm on vacation. This is if I was out there, I wouldn't be here. Yeah. I mean, it's always nice to get away, but it's not like, oh, I got to get away from work. No, I enjoy everything because everything's new every day.
That's great, and you get to take your buddy to work.
I do. He comes with me as well as he's with me every day. And there'll be a coloring book coming out that Main Street's putting out, and there'll be a page in there with Augie in the radio window for kids to color. So he's even got his own coloring book page now.
I love that. So I actually drive by the radio station every morning on my way to the senior center, and so often you see Augie sitting in the window of the
Yeah.
radio station.
Well, that's what the coloring book picture is. Him
Perfect.
sitting in the window looking out. Yeah, because that's the iconic Augie looking out the
Oh,
window there.
yes.
So,
I know the school bus kids stop and
oh, they
wave.
do. They wave.
And
Yeah, we had a little boy here a couple years ago. He's coming.
Yeah.
We had a little boy a couple years ago that was contacted us, and he went to Sacred Heart, and he said that I write for the school newspaper. He was in 3rd grade, the Tiger Times, and they wanted to do a story about the doggy in the window. So we took Augie to Sacred Heart, and the 2nd and 3rd graders got to come visit him in the cafeteria. And so, he sees people come visit.
yes, yes.
So,
He's saying hello.
yeah. But he's interact with the school kids and everything there on the bus. Yeah. So,
I love
yeah.
that. I love that. Well, Wadsworth Radio is definitely, that's where your main job is, but it's not the only thing you're involved with.
No.
And I have to say you're a part of City Council.
Right. Been on City Council since 2016, spring of 2016. Been involved with several things over the years. I was on the Chamber Board. I'm on the Salvation Army Board. Involved with the Village of St. Ed's out here, and the Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation. Yeah.
Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation
So-
Board, yes. So you are involved with kind of the heart of what we do. You head up the Summer Events Committee, which we just had 4 banner events this summer.
Yeah.
With the biggest summer attendance ever for all of those events. We had in June, we had our big,
The June was the
last year it was the sock hop.
this year we had the trying to remember what it was now. We had the in July was of course the car show, the
car
Christmas
show,
in
yes.
July.
And we had our carnival this year in
yeah, the
June,
carnival in June.
which was
That's right, it
huge
was the
success.
carnival, right,
we
right.
change it up every year.
Right.
And then with the car show and craft fair, of course sponsored by another foundation member, Karen Thompson, we had over 400 people check in that day. It was amazing. And then a beach party in August.
Yep.
And then we just had a week ago our tailgating party with the
Yep.
high school football team, the
Team,
cheerleaders. It was just amazing.
And that was very well attended. That was really neat there, and Justin Todd signed the helmet, and we gave the helmet away with the tickets. Your entry was for tickets for the 12 Days of Christmas.
Yes.
And so that was and that was such a great intergenerational attended event.
It was. It was magical. It really was.
Right. And that's the one thing about the senior center too. And I know it's part of the other questions, but they all kind of meld together here. Where as far as something very special to me at the senior center, it's not necessarily anything personal, but it's when you come up here, there is just the interaction from all age levels. It's just amazing because, of course, the kids come over with some of the technology help, and again, the things that Lori, that you and Tammy and Amy put together here, program-wise. It's other than there's bingo and games and stuff like that, but things that you need in life, taxes and medical information, and I know you did the eye programs and many health programs as well. So it's not just a family fun center. It's a little bit of everything. So yeah, that's what's really special up here about it, because it's really whatever you need. Most anything that a senior needs, they can find in a program here at some point.
Sure, we have something for everyone,
Yeah.
and it's definitely a team effort. We have a small staff of 3, but with the support of senior volunteers, professional friends, and of course the Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation. It takes a team to be able to do and offer all of the things we do. In fact, because of the Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation, for example, we are sitting under our awning.
We're outside today. We couldn't do it over by the pavilion because of another thing over there. But no, we're still able to be out here with this on.
Absolutely, yes, it's
Yeah.
so nice. And it protects, I mean, we've had a very rainy week, so it's so nice. Seniors could still be under here, conversing, waiting for the ride, whatever, and being protected. So you guys built that just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But you fund so many things, from our technology and Zoom programs and our check-in kiosks,
The furniture,
all of
cafe,
that.
yeah, so.
Well, going back to your astronomy, like your, love for that, we really used your expertise a year and a half ago when we had the eclipse.
The eclipse, yeah, on April the 8th. It's funny that it's been, there's pop-up on Facebook that it's been well over a year now. And, yeah, I mean, that was, and even early on, it's like, well, where am I going to set my telescopes up? Do I do them in my yard or those kind of things? And then we kind of had a chat that we were going to do something up here, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's the perfect place because old, young, and anybody could come up and take a look. And I mean, it was of course it was a very special event to have an eclipse go over
directly over us. Yes.
But again, it was just the neatest moment as soon as it happened. I mean, the oohs and the ahs. I mean, it was very, very, very special. So it was, and again, it was. I realized at that point what a mistake it would have been for me to have I'll just stay in my yard or do it here because you need to be with somebody.
Yes, and we had over 200 people that day.
I know, and I had and what was fun was I had my telescopes set up, and people were able to look through the telescopes at the eclipse. And I know a lot of people actually got some pictures on their cell phones through them and those kind of things. So yeah, that was really, really fun.
Yeah, you gave people a once in a lifetime experience, and even came the month before to offer an educational talk just to answer questions and kind of let us know what to anticipate. So that was super fun. And then I know you're involved with space connections, like with George Foreman.
Right, and we had. Again, because of the radio, and that's I know one of all the questions kind of meld together. One of the things you're going to talk about, whether it's philosophy or whatever, mine's just kind of always been show up. Just show up. You don't know what's going to come out of it. After job transition or whatever there in 2013, of course I had been involved with Main Street and stuff, taking pictures, but Jack Allen was down there running things, and I showed up and to take pictures, and that led to the radio station, because showing up for one thing doesn't mean that there's not something else there too. And so that led to the radio station, and then with the radio station, when Mike Foreman was coming back in town, he had given us a call and said, hey, I'm coming in, you guys have a radio station now. And I said, well, we do. He said, well, I'd like to talk about this Higher Orbits program that I'm coming into town for. So Mike came into the radio station, and we had Michelle Lucas, who runs Higher Orbits. What Higher Orbits is, it does STEM camps around the country in high schools, and those experiments from each of the high schools, like a group of 4 or 5, one of those will win, and they fly on the International Space Station.
Wow.
And that came from showing up. Hey, you want to come up and see what this program's like and take some pictures? Well, sure I do. Show up. I went up to there to take pictures, and it led to, I have been on the board now and have picked, now they're high school, experiments, but I think I'm on my 9th or 10th experiment that I've been on a team that has chosen to fly on International Space Station.
Wow.
And then as well as here recently, kind of as a thank you, Michelle said, hey, she said, we can fly something in space for you. So there was a picture of Augie and I that flew on the SpaceX Falcon 9 space flight back in the spring. It unfortunately, our picture's at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean right now because there was an issue with with the spacecraft coming back, but nonetheless, Yeah, we did. We got all the other, the flight information or whatever. But yeah, Augie's and my picture flew in space. But again, all came from showing up.
Showing up.
And there was no intent there, whatever. But again, going back to as a kid with that dream to be in space or be a part of that, it's. And again, sounds cliche or whatever, but it's not. But never give up on those dreams. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. I mean, if that didn't happen, so I'm never going to do it again. Well, here it is at 67, 68, 69 years old. It's happened.
Wow.
And but again, to be involved in space and things like that. And again, in the 60s, the closest I got to the space program was Walter Cronkite on the 6 o'clock news. But now, I mean, I was over with, I was invited because of Michelle and everything, invited by NASA, the Artemis spacecraft that went around the moon. I was over at the Neil Armstrong test facility in Plum Brook when they tested that. I have pictures of myself right next to that spacecraft.
Wow.
And as a kid, I'd see those in museums, not, like that. But again, all those kind of things, and so I'm realizing my dream of participating in something with the space program now.
I love that, and that is one of my questions. What is your advice for aging well and showing up?
Showing up, show up. That. I mean, I don't care what it is. I mean, you can. Well, it's a little cold today. I don't want to go out. I've been to bingo before. Show up because. You may think you went for bingo, but you also don't know. And at the worst, if you went back and you just did one of the programs or whatever, and nothing came out of it, okay, so what? Mm-hmm. So what? You still got something out of it.
Right.
But you never know. You never know by showing up and not staying at home what'll happen.
Right. The connections you might make, and like you said, never give up on your dreams.
Right. Well, and it came from, I got a phone call with the, at the airport the one day, and they said, hey, the Golden Knights are coming to Wadsworth. Can you come take some pictures? Sure. So I went out there, started talking to the colonel that brought them in. Turned out he was from Worcester. Okay, local connection. Hey, would you like to be on the radio show tomorrow? Sure. So we came on. After I talked to him, I said, I was out taking pictures. I love to take pictures from up there. He said, come on out, we got a seat for you on the plane. So I flew with him.
And I think I've seen a couple of those pictures. Incredible.
Again, that's from just showing up. I went out there to take pictures on the ground. Had him on the radio. He invited me. I flew with them at the Cleveland Air Show.
Wow.
And then when they came back that fall, I jumped with them. I mean, that's the team that jumped George Bush, President Bush.
Wow.
Not the plane I jumped off wasn't, but the plane that was here that I flew on before to take pictures was the actual. I sat in the seat President Bush sat in to take pictures.
That's incredible. It really
and again,
is.
show up. It's like, oh, I've seen him, John. I don't know. No, just go do it. Show up because you don't know what's going to come out of that.
Yeah, and I have to say, you are the perfect example of showing up because I can't. Think of one person that shows up more than you do. For Main Street Wadsworth events, you are there. I heard you're even involved in the YMCA now has a fundraiser, and Tom Stugmyer is part of that planning event. I was like, wow, you show up for so many community events. You're involved in so many things, and we're very blessed at the Suprema Senior Center and Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation that you're a part of what we do, and you have great ideas, and we're very appreciative of all that you've brought our way.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And the other thing that's about this community, it's very easy to show up because there's so many things to show up to. There really is. I mean,
good point.
No, it really is. I mean, there's not a lot of communities where there are so many different aspects of things that you can volunteer for and show up in and with. That's that open and welcoming to community members. I mean, it goes from the Friends of the Trails, Friends of Woodlawn Center. I mean, I don't care what your interest level is. There's something for you here in Wadsworth or even in Medina County.
Sure.
With parks and what, and anything like that. And I think that shows with the senior population in Medina County being, what, 27, 28% now?
Right.
And growing.
We're the sixth fastest aging county in the entire state of Ohio.
Because people are staying here
They're
because there's a
staying.
reason to stay. And that's exactly it. I mean, it's easy to show up and volunteer when there's so many things to do. So,
Right, so many positive things,
Yeah.
and you definitely are a part of helping make the Wadsworth community unmatched, like
Well,
to
thank
say,
you.
in so many different ways. And we're, we kind of went through all the different questions I would ask. You've already kind of said what the Suprema Senior Center means to you.
Yeah.
Before we end, I mean, this show is about you. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just very grateful very thankful to the community and everything because of and again just because of the people and everything. We have the radio station along with even WCTV, the Suprema Senior Center. And again, all the different things, even that the city does, and again, Main Street Wadsworth, those kind of things. I mean, you just want to say thank you. Here, scoot back here, buddy. You'll go see Lori here in a minute. Here, sit down here. There's just so many things there to do, and again, I'm just very grateful for that. I really am, because there's always something going on. High school football, Friday night football. I mean,
You're there.
And well, that's the other thing with the radio station too. We were very, very blessed. Right after we started, we went on the air in 2015. 2016, we broadcast the Girls State Basketball Championship.
Wow.
And when you get a letter from grandparents that were in Florida that said, we could come home, we got to listen to our granddaughter play in the state championship team. They were all gathered around the computer down there listening online. And that's just special. That's really neat to be able to do that. And we're not up we're not up in the press box. We're right on the sidelines. We're right on the court. And Jenna Johnson, one of the Jenna and Jody Johnson played. They were the twins, seniors that year. Laura Pleto was the third one. But they had during the game. I just remember Jenna came over. She looked over and she goes, we got this game, because we had talked with them all during the season.
Sure.
And I mean, you develop that friendship, that relationship, and there to interact with with them during the game like that down in Columbus or whatever.
Because you showed up for them multiple times. You showed up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We showed up. So yeah, but again, you're just thankful for all that kind of stuff because of the communities. That's what I'm the most thankful for, is just being here. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much
thank
for
you.
coming on this episode, and thank you to Augie as well.
You sat pretty good. You want another treat? Okay, sit. Hey, you gotta sit.
There
sit,
you go.
Sit. Speak. All right.
Oh, there he goes. He has all
You
sorts
gonna do a
of
high
tricks.
Five? All right, there's our high five. All right. You get
Well,
another
thanks
one.
for joining us today. If you'd like to tell your story, please reach out to me, Lori Wilkinson. Aging Well in Wadsworth, this is your life. We'd love to tell your story. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.